Listen, I'd love to just start off on, we just said it, I think it's 129,000 roughly. Coin, average price of 30,700. Spent about $4 billion on it.
Spent about $4 billion on it. Spent about $4 billion on it. Bitcoin is worthless artificial.
Within a decade, crypto and blockchain technology will be the 12th sector in the S&P curve.
Bitcoin doesn't have any value in and of itself. It's not backed up by anything.
Are we going to stop it? There's only one way to stop it. Raise interest rates right now.
Holy guacamole, meatballs, and ravioli. Are you seeing this? There is no time left. This chart, this chart, this chart, and this chart are all at their breaking points. But what if I told you that it's even crazier than you're expecting it to be? I want you to think of something big. As big as you can imagine. Now double it. That's pretty big. I'm your host, Fudge E. Fingers, and the literal most insane signals are firing on 4 different charts right now. And if I tell you what they mean, you will have trouble walking for the next few hours guaranteed. But is this as big as everyone is saying? Check this out. So give the channel visual extra opportunities, these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of over $16,000 in trading bonuses below, specifically for US traders, BitGet below. That also comes with an additional up to $8,000 in deposit bonuses below using my link. It takes 1 minute to sign up, and additionally 15% off trading fees for a limited time with my link. And without any further ado, let's dump in. This is unbelievable. Right now, Bitcoin is on the verge of total and complete chaos. However, 4 different charts right now, all it takes is one of these 4 charts, okay, and it will determine everything. So the first thing I want to start off with here is the DXY, and right now we are seeing massive bearish divergence unfold on not just the daily chart, which it is very clear, however, but we see this happening on the weekly chart as well. You can see that right here. There's bearish divergence on the MACD, on the RSI, with the price potentially right now in the midst of setting a double top pattern. Okay, and if we zoom into this daily chart, you see that right here. We see the chart, the price actually come up and squeak out a higher high from that mid-July high. So we've actually set a higher high. However, the RSI has not followed, and the MACD has not followed either, on not just the daily chart, but also on the weekly chart. So this is, these are pretty concrete confirmations. But now, what does this mean? Does that mean that we're about to see the DXY completely collapse, completely implode, and start to see the stock market and Bitcoin rally? No, not necessarily. That is not what that means. However, in fact, I believe it's possible that over the next week or two, we could see the DXY have a breakout to the upside before what I ultimately do think will be a mega crash. So again, that's something I think is very typical of this market, a massive fake out, if you will, where a lot of signs are showing, wow, it looks as though the DXY is about to top out, and then it goes on, sets a new high. Everyone's confused and think, wow, I guess, this is ultimate devastation. And then we see the real switcheroo, the real reach around surprise, where we actually start to see then, okay, maybe then that's when it collapses. Okay, because you cannot just only do TA in a vacuum on the DXY. The DXY is a direct reflection, basically, of how inflation is going and everything like that. So with that being said, though, it does look like the dollar's overheated, very much so. And so that's something, again, we have not seen this big move yet. We've been trading sideways since August 22nd, so almost a week and a half. We've just been trading pretty much completely sideways. And it has yet to pick a direction. And we know by looking at this chart that the DXY it does not like trading sideways. You can see, if we zoom out, you can see that it goes, especially over the last year, it has pretty wild swings to the upside and downside lately. And I think we're about to see one of those moves very soon here. But as well, one thing I think is so important is that the entire crypto market cap right now is basically running out of time. We have this descending level of resistance and this slowly ascending, sloping upwards level of support, which is the 200-week moving average. And there's not much time left, and I think it's going to pick a direction. Are we going to get a massive swing to the downside or completely break out of this trend once and for all? Again, I believe the time is completely pretty much up for that decision. And I think a lot of it has to do with DXY. Absolutely it has to do with the stock market, which as of pretty much this week is falling below this 21-week moving average. And it's just not good for momentum. Over the next few days, ideally it would have to completely make a move back above 4,000, specifically over 4,050 minimum. to show any signs of life there. And so that is something we're watching for very, very, very heavily there. But also the entire weekly chart for Bitcoin here. So there's a few big things going on here. One, the MACD, it looks as though it was about to cross bearish recently, and it did not. And in fact, on the MACD, if you can see here, it started curving down, but now it looks as though maybe there's still a chance that we could have this swing to the upside for the entire or for Bitcoin's weekly chart. The RSI, is completely oversold, and we have yet to set a lower low. The low is right around this mid $17,000 range. Currently, Bitcoin has only dipped its tip a little into the high $19,000 range of this dip so far. So if Bitcoin holds here, that's a very nice double bottom compared to the very not nice for the DXY double top. Again, these are make or break moments, because we could be looking at this chart in a week and we could be seeing what I do think we will see is complete devastation on one of the charts and complete euphoria on one of the charts. Basically meaning, okay, if one of these charts starts going to the upside, it's going to destroy the other chart. So we don't know which is going to do which yet. We do not know if it's going to be Bitcoin double bottoming and going up, or if it's going to be the DXY completely breaking this double top pattern and going straight up, which again will spell chaos, doom, gloom, and absolute dumpage for the opposing force, whichever one decides to break out. And that's really the big thing here. And in the meantime, you can trade these moves if you're interested in trying to make profit. Of course, it is risky, but there's not a single chart that I look at day to day that is not risky, whether it is the stock market or crypto in general. So take advantage of over $8,000 in deposit bonuses for BitGet, specifically below as well. That is a great option for US traders, BitGet. But on Bitcoin's daily chart as well, we've just gotten this like bearish cross that led into this dump here. And again, Bitcoin is still maintaining these lows, higher lows, but really, again, it all depends. I mean, really, again, that's why, I mean, at this point, you could pretty much only do TA on the stock market and DXY, and it would tell you what Bitcoin is going to do. Because if the stock market does get its footing here, then it's very likely that Bitcoin will start going up. And now one thing that I think is very big here is that this. So many of you guys know that the Bitcoin has not existed during a bearish stock market. Bitcoin was created right around here. And the stock market has basically only gone up since then. So Bitcoin has only really existed in a bull market. So here's the thing. If we do, because there are signs showing that this so far looks almost exactly like the 2008 crash. If we actually do see something like this with the stock market, potentially going into the mid-2000s or something crazy, right? Almost getting sliced in half from the current valuations of the stock market. If something like that would happen, there is a strong argument to be made that Bitcoin would go down, obviously. But something that I believe is the case, and I think would be potentially the moment a lot of people are waiting for, and a lot of things would need to go right for this to happen. But at this point, if Bitcoin would be able to decouple from the stock market in some sort of massive crash event, similar to like what we saw in 2008 for the stock market, late 2007, 2008. If we saw that happen, I think that would be the perfect time for Bitcoin to potentially begin to decouple, because again, that was almost like the reason Bitcoin was created, to give us another option, a way to opt out of the corrupt stock market and act as a hedge against that. Now, if the stock market would crash, 1,000 points tomorrow, do I think that would happen? No, I don't. Absolutely not. I think Bitcoin would crash as well. But all I'm saying is, in time, and potentially a catastrophic event that could happen similar to 2008, if that did happen, I think that would be the best time of any, a better time than any, to actually potentially really start to decouple. And, one of the big things that I absolutely know is going on right now is that a lot of the money in the stock market has been flowing into crypto. A lot of institutional money has been flowing into crypto away from the stock market. There's a lot of evidence of this, and people even coming out and saying this, that you have the stock market, you have crypto. And over the last year, even though both have been dumping, a lot of money has been slowly flowing into crypto quietly. And, if that is the case, then it would make sense if we do get a devastating dump in the stock market, if institutions truly see Bitcoin as a hedge, and just even regardless of a hedge, if they see it as a better option, then we could really start to see a switcheroo where Bitcoin eventually will decouple, in my opinion, from the stock market. And again, If Bitcoin does not decouple from the stock market eventually, then personally, in my opinion, Bitcoin pretty much has failed, right? If Bitcoin just follows the stock market, is that what it was created for? Is that its ultimate purpose? I think it's not. So you guys new channel. This is absolutely time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of over $16,000 in trading bonuses below, specifically over $8,000 with BitGet. It is for U.S. traders as well. And limited time using my link, a 15% off trading fees, and an additional $20 just by signing up with my link below. And there is a quick 2-minute tutorial. It takes a minute to sign up, popping up. Without any further ado, that's it for me.